Today's video, we are going to discuss saging techniques. First things first, I like to keep mine in a bowl of sorts. Fireproof, something that won't ignite, obviously, but I actually choose an abalone bowl. And so this is actually also where I store my sage. This is a sage bundle, and as you can see, this one has been burned already. So to light, it's very simple. We're just going to start it up with any type of flame. Ooh, that one went crazy.
It took off.
Took off. So I like to get a nice glow going with my sage. And then from here, I'm just going to place it back in the bowl. And the reason is that bits and pieces from that sage can actually fall down onto the ground and can be a potential fire hazard. So I like to have safe saging techniques.
Safe is good.
Safe saging techniques. So I always just like to enjoy the smoke and just see where the sage wants to go. So just kind of observing what's going on here. It is said that when you see a very thin stream of smoke, it means that there's a lot of negativity in the room and it's compressing the energy. And when you see a very open type of smoke emanating, that means that the negativity has left, essentially.
How would you describe this one?
This one it's actually quite thin right now. See how I don't know, like, it's nice to have a dark background behind the smoke, but when it comes out of the sage, if it's just a very thin line, that is indicating that there is compression.
So there might be some negative energy in this room, because
Well,
my last couple days at work, this is where I work.
This is your workspace.
Yeah, and my last few days
And
at
this
work
is your
were
actual
stressful.
workspace too.
Yes.
So one of the things I love about sage is the fragrance is so lovely. It's exceptionally grounding. So even just, one of the things I like to do is I have my morning coffee and I light my sage at my little kitchen table. And the fragrance is, it's just just a great way to start your day.
It's refreshing.
Refreshing. It is energetically cleansing. It's grounding. It's a great way to just start your day with that positive intention and purpose.
Definitely.
So what we're going to do today is we're actually going to sage this room. So this is your workspace. This is the room I stay in when I come to visit. Holding the bowl, your fireproof bowl, and just going throughout the room. Now this sage in particular, just a kind of a side note technique, when you buy sage, usually it is wrapped with string and it's bundled really tight, so it's very tightly bound. So one of the things I like to do is actually open the sage up a little bit, and that gives you a nicer burn, actually, because when it's really tight, sometimes it's not easy to ignite. So I'm actually going to relight this down here, and now we're going to go throughout the room with this. So getting that nice flame. And sometimes too, when this happens, you can just move it to get that actual flame out. So this is just a nice burn right here. So now we're gonna go about the room. So basically just carrying it in the bowl and just going to all sections of the room. So I like to really focus in through the corners because a lot of energy can get stuck in these corners. And then this room also has a closet. Think about a room in which a door has been shut for a long period of time. That's trapped energy in there.
That's true.
So we want to
open
it up. And what I would do, I would go in and just sage all corners of this closet as well. So just getting in there, possibly even leaving this door open. to create energetically getting the movement of the energy out of that trapped space. The other thing to pay particular attention to, what is happening out there? We have cats doing all sorts of things.
Crazy things.
Cats are doing crazy things. If you have any plants, make sure you give the sage an opportunity. I always put it underneath the plants. You don't have any live plants in here, do you?
I do not.
You do not. Because they are living. So oftentimes energy can gravitate to those living objects and attach to them. So it's very important that you pay particular attention to your plants. And then we have already opened this window. Very important that you want to, I was going to close this. There we go. And get this corner over here. So paying particular attention to this idea of just having this window open so all this negativity has a place to go. And then you mentioned this is your workspace. And as we know, work can be stressful. So I'm just going to make sure we get all of these items on the shelves right above your workspace. And then the desk itself. And I'm also just going to go underneath and get the desk. Another thing that would probably be beneficial for you in this workspace is to actually cleanse the top of your desk periodically, and do it with the idea that you are sweeping any of that negative energy associated with work out the window.
Out the window.
So the other thing I want to mention is the idea of intention. So when we're saging, the intention of this sage is to cleanse this space. So we want to take all of this negative, unwanted energy, we want to release it out this window. So after a sage, I'm going to use my, she's like, wow, that door's open?
Yay!
I have free reign in this closet. One of the things I do after a sage is I intentionally go through the room and just do a sweep. So I'm just using the intention of getting this negativity out of the room. So we're just taking unwanted anything and simply moving it out the window. So that's how that is done. The other thing I like to do with sage is I never like to extinguish the sage. Unless perhaps you have to go somewhere, then in that case I would definitely recommend extinguishing it just for safety reasons.
Yes.
But I like to allow the sage to burn to its completion, because the sage itself is extremely intuitive, so it knows exactly what it has to do, what its purpose is. So just allowing it to finish its final cleansing purposes.
It looks like it's running down.
It's running down.
It's not.
It's
It
running
doesn't have a lot. It doesn't have a lot of work to do in here.
Well, it's already done quite a bit.
Yeah.
Another thing to be mindful of, if you have pets, they are extremely sensitive to intense fragrances. And sage does have a very beautiful fragrance, but sometimes your animals might not necessarily. I find it really interesting. They like being in this space right now. But
They do.
if you have a very heavy sage going, sometimes keeping it away from the animals, just due to the fact that their noses are a little more sensitive
Yep,
than ours.
They are.
Kitty. Mm-hmm. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a safe, happy, healthy holiday season and a fabulous new year. Oh, kissy kitties. I do so much better when I have an animal. Oh, I hear the frog. Kitty.